So hello and welcome, I'm Frederick Dunn and this is The Way to Be. Today I'm packing down the Keeper's Hive. In fact, there are two types of Keeper's Hive I have here. The 1 colony version and the 2 colony or 2 queen system. Now I already pulled off the top honey super, and the next box down is a honey super that will be left on for the bees. You can see there's a 1/4-inch plywood divider there because again there are 2 colonies. These are chock-a-block with honey, fully capped, ready to go. Now we have to get the bees out of the honey super. So I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm also going to show you the single hive setup as far as the way I close it down. That thing's heavy. I'm guessing about 48 to 50 pounds, maybe even a little more. And the colonies on both sides are nice and calm. They've filled out all the frames down below, and we're not going to meddle with that at all. I'm going to have to pull off that super though, and I'm also going to have to remove the queen excluder so the bees can get up there through winter. These glass plates, by the way, are fantastic. All the combs are drawn. Both sides are occupied. They did not move one side or the other. We have opposing landing boards, one facing north, one facing south. And I'm going to show you how to get these bees out of this honey super. And also we're going to leave them. In this one I pulled them both off because I had to get the queen excluder off the hive. Then we're going to put it back. Not going to lie, that was a lot of work. That was about a, I don't know, 60 or 70 pound super. And look at the comb that got pulled apart here, and there's honey all over it. And of course this queen excluder comes with it. I was part of the Indiegogo campaign. I invested in this and I wanted to try out the 2 queen system. We set this up late in the year, by the way. So much later than we should have. We did super splits. I'll leave a link down showing you how we set it all up. Nice to see all the propylizing that they did. Lots of beeswax around. And if we had a lot of time on our hands, we'd pull this all apart, put it all back together, let the bees clean it up, then take things away. But we're not going to do that. Now I'm going to pull this queen excluder off. We're going to put it at my robbing station and let the bees clean it up. It's getting late in the day already, and we only have so many decent weather days ahead because this is late October, well, second week of October 2025. This will be my first winter with a 2 queen system. Last winter we went through with a single colony Keeper's Hive unit, and it did okay, and they made a lot of improvements, by the way, between that first one and this one. The glass plates, for one, are fantastic. And the bees, of course, are just helping themselves to the honey that's exposed. I'd rather they get it. Now it's late in the day, so this is key. It's also a little cooler, so we're not getting a lot of robbing pressure right now, but we are going to put it right back together. I just thought I would share and show you some of this. I do see a honeybee abdomen there that was already there. I didn't do it. So this is finished honey, by the way. And they're going to reclaim that. They're going to put it right back in any available cells that they have. Now where those would be, I don't know, because based on the honey supers, they are capped wall to wall. And so we're going to pack it down. I'm also going to show you what kind of feeder I decided to put on top, just in case you need an emergency feed system. And also we're going to insulate the top. So we pulled off the queen excluder. And when you put this back together, remember there was a space for the queen excluder. So now we just twist this to the right, cinch it up a little bit, and reconnect the clamps. And we do that on both sides. Not that I think this thing is going to go anywhere, but it also helps keep the alignment. And the colonies are divided all the way up through the top there. So now they won't be crossing over anymore. I'm going to put double bubble insulation inside each of these sides. I just didn't have it ready when I was making the video because I'm holding the camera with one hand and doing the work with the other. My wife ditched me and went to a place called Florida. I don't even know why, because there's cool stuff happening up here. Anyway, these are Ceracell bee escapes, and when you put those on a hive, you don't have to use fume boards or anything else. We don't use leaf blowers to get our bees out of the supers. We just put this on there, and this is going to clean it out really well. I have a pile of these 8 frame and 10 frame sizes, and they do a fantastic job of cleaning supers of bees. So that medium super's back on, nice and heavy, by the way, good shoulder work out there. And you can hear all the bees in it. But guess what? Come tomorrow, they're going to be out of there. And I'm using an Apame 10 frame feeder. These came out this year. and I like them a lot, and I use double bubble. I press it down over the top and make sure to get a little extra insulation. I stop all ventilating. We can't just put that on by itself. We have to put some brakes on there. So I need to show that too, even though this is a fast moving video. This is going to sit out here overnight, and the following day we're going to come back and you're going to find out this is going to be clean. So you can see the sun is setting. It's getting a little colder too, so very few foraging honeybees left. What is left? Wasps, yellow jackets, bald-faced hornets, European hornets. They're all here. And so I have this consistent feeding station slant robbing station, and I let bees and wasps clean up all of my equipment before I go to scrape the wax away, because if you've ever scraped off burr comb and things like that, when you put it in a bucket, if there's honey in it, it makes a big sticky mess. So I'm just going to let these clean it up. But guess what will happen? Tomorrow, when the weather warms up, the honeybees are going to be the king of this station. Because if it's warm enough for them to fly around midday, they take over all the feeding stations, and these wasps don't matter at all. In fact, a lot of these are queens. Look at their abdomens. You can see the markings. And there are several different species here. So very interesting to have a feeding station and see what's what and who's who. Now here we are on the next day. Listen to the activity level. The honeybees are the king of the feeding station now, because by pure numbers alone, they mob everything. There's bumblebees here as well, and they're going to clean everything up, and then I will just scrape the wax away and collect it later. Why not feed it back? So again, the honeybees are not afraid of wasps, not here anyway. And the wasps do put pressure on beehives, I'm not going to lie, but the bees are king of the feeding station. No doubt about it. Here we get a close-up of the beeswax that's on here. I'm going to reclaim all of this. I'm going to scrape it off, put it in a bucket, render the wax later. And here we are, 54.5 degrees Fahrenheit at 3 p.m. Now that's not ideal, but I have to go ahead on the 16th of October to get this done, because the weather's just going to turn. It's going to get bad. So I'm going to take the cover off and take the super off, but look what's under here. No bees. It's empty. Forget about fume boards and leaf blowers and puffers and brushes. Just put a Ceracell bee escape in there, and they're out of there. And this is a lot of fantastic fully capped honey, which is very impressive considering this colony was established midsummer. This is not one that's been there all year. Look at all the propolis. This is fantastic. I have to say I'm happy about it. Let me tell you, it's a little bit of a workout too. Here it is out sitting on my wagon. This is going to be such an easy harvest. I just wish it were hotter. Now, the coming weekend, it's supposed to be in the high 70s, low 80s. That's going to be good. We're going to process all of it right away. Now we take the bee escape off. And just as predicted, the bees are all stuck underneath of it. So you could shake them off right there. I choose not to. I'm just going to lean it against the front of the hive and let the bees walk up through the entrance. And we're going to, of course, have to go back and close things up. I don't see any reason to get the bees upset. And we are going to use the Apisalis vape system to kind of puff them back here so that we can get the cover on. Now they do react to this pretty decent. There is a breeze. It's not very detectable in the video, but having this instead of a regular smoker is starting to win me over each time I use it. It's very convenient. So we just get them a little bit away from the top here, and then we're going to get that feeder shim on there and slit it across. And this gives you the option to put liquid feed, which we're too late for now in the year. And that is a jumping spider nest that was empty. A little disappointing because I like the little jumping spiders. And the center part of that you can put fondant. There she is. That's a jumper. They can jump 50 times their body length. Very cool. This is an endorsement. She's just running around, last minute inspections of the insulation I'm putting on. And I like to form it, of course, to the feeder. And then we're going to put the Apamate cover on and the bricks, and we're done. That is the pack-up. That's all there is to it, aside from what I did not show, which is insulation under each of the side covers. Now let's go back to the south-facing entrance. and we'll look at how the bees are doing in getting themselves off of that Cirrocell bee escape. You can get these, I believe, at the Blythewood Bee Company. Tell them I sent you. Pay the exact same as everybody else, but these are good. The little pegs that stick out that help to align them, if you find that it doesn't line up right with whatever box you're putting it on, just cut those off. There's no problem, but this is the most effective bee escape I've ever used. Now we go back to the single colony keeper's hive. And so we stacked up the honey supers on this, and I made my own bee escape, and I regret that I did not show it for the nucleus hive size. It's very uncommon to have bee escapes for that because most people don't use nucleus hives for main production. And we're just packing it down. I'm showing you what I'm leaving for them. So I have a deep, those are 5 Langstroth deep frames. The feeder that comes from Apame for this needs to be taped centered up because it will slip side to side and you can have a gap there. That gives me the option to feed solid or liquid in this hive. Fantastic. And of course I'm going to put double bubble over the top of this, and then I have a polystyrene cover that I made myself. These are 2-inch thick rigid polystyrene. I make sure the double bubble sticks out. I don't care about looks, I care about function. So I wanted to stick over the ends to make sure we get a nice seal there. And this is all the insulation I've needed to get these through winter. And remember, there's a feeder option there, but this is full of honey also. I think they have all they're going to need. And this one I put a strap on it to hold it down to make sure that if a winter storm comes along, it's not going to blow this thing apart. Now the last thing I'll show you is the Cirrocell bee escape. They're gone. They're all in. So now we can take that away, and that wraps up this entire video. It's easy. Pack down the keeper's hive, pretty much the same as any other hive. Thanks for watching. I'm Frederick Dunn, and this has been The Way to Bee.